Hello everybody, welcome to the Methods and Materials 1 Building Systems online course. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kellen Roth. I'm going to be your instructor for the course. In this video, I just want to go ahead and walk you through the Blackboard page and touch on the course syllabus and the course schedule, so that way you'll have a clear expectation of how the semester is going to work. To start off here, I'm on the course homepage. Here you can see my instructor information. For those of you who have not had me before, I give you my cell phone number so that if there's any questions, you can go ahead and reach me that way. Usually it's a lot easier for me to communicate over text just because I can see your questions a lot easier and I can reply to you a lot quicker. So feel free to reach out to me via text if you want to. If you're not comfortable with that and you just want to go the email route, you can do that as well. All of my office hours are going to be by appointment only, so if you need any help and you require like a one-on-one meeting or something like that, just reach out to me and ask me, and we will figure out a time that works for both of us best to do that. All right, so to start off here, these are the course textbooks that you're going to need. This one here on the left, this one you're for sure going to need. Make sure that you get the most recent edition of it. This one here, you don't necessarily need to buy this one physically. I'm going to be posting select readings from this as we go through the course, but I'm going to be referencing both of these quite a bit. This one, the reference manual, I decided to use this for the class because this is a really good book that describes everything that you're going to need to know to pass your NCIDQ exam, that you're going to take later on for certification once you're a professional. And this is just a really good reference of exactly the things that you need to know to pass that to become certified. All right. We're only going to be looking at a select section from this book. So they have a section in there that's all about building systems. All right. But I think there's maybe like 5 or 6 sections total. So even though you don't need to buy this one physically, because it's pretty expensive actually, I think it's like a $200 book or more than that. You might want to buy it just because it's really good material for like everything you will need to know as an interior designer to become certified. So it's just a great resource to have. So you might want to purchase it just so that you have it for your own like study purposes and reference purposes, things like that. But again, you don't necessarily need to buy it because I will be posting select readings from it whenever we get to it, whenever we have to read it for our assignments. All right. Really quickly, I'm going to run through the course syllabus and schedule. All right, so here's the syllabus. It's going to be pretty typical stuff. Class time, this is a 100% online course and there's no set meet times. So if you have taken my digital applications course that I did last semester, you're going to be very familiar with how I'm going to run this. It's going to be pretty similar. There's not going to be any set meet times, and then I'm going to upload content and you will need to watch the content and go through all the material and make sure that you do any assignments before the deadline. My deadlines are always on Sundays at the end of the day, so make sure that you have your assignments turned in by 11:59 p.m. on Sundays. All right. Again, here's the required course textbooks, and then here's some recommended text that is on reserve at the CAED library. These are just good supplementary materials. It's not necessary really that you go out and find these, because really anything that I think that you need from these books, I will probably just be adding it into the content that I show you. But if you want to go in more in depth on these topics and really explore them on your own, these are good resources on where you can find more information about them. All right. Any material that is required for successful completion of the course will be available on Blackboard free of cost. So again, I'm going to be posting any supplementary stuff that I think you guys need. All right, so course description. What is this course about? Methods and Materials 1 is designed to introduce building systems, materials, and influences they have on interior design practice when designing for people. With a developed understanding of building systems, this course aims to prepare students to contribute to a sustainable environment, as well as the safety and welfare of the public. Basic needs are non-negotiable and should be primarily considered upon designing for people. This course covers topics such as structural systems of columns, girders, beams, load-bearing walls and partitions, and floor systems, envelope systems of roofs, exterior walls, non-load-bearing walls and partitions, curtain walls and storefronts, interior assembly systems, walls, partitions, windows, and doors, mechanical systems inclusive of HVAC, electrical systems, smoke controls, vertical transportation, plumbing and water, environmental control systems, thermal comfort, air quality, daylighting, conditioning for people or buildings, and global vernacular typologies, acoustics, so fundamentals of the transfer of receiving sounds within throughout the structure, design strategies, reflection, absorption, and isolation, fire protection systems, suppression, fire barriers, smoke barriers, pressurized controls, and code controls. All right, so we're going to try to touch on all of these topics. There's a lot to get through in this course. There's just so much material that you could just spend forever on. So this course, I'm going to treat it as more of like a survey. We're going to be taking sort of a high-level view at a lot of topics, instead of taking like a really detailed view at only a few topics. All right, because you just need a kind of surface level understanding of these things. All right, so we want to make sure that you're familiar with all these basically so that you can understand what all these systems are and how they work, but not necessarily know like all the technical ins and outs of them. All right. So with successful completion of the course, you will be able to demonstrate an understanding of sustainability issues in interior design, develop basic terminology for building construction and systems for proper transcendentary communication among trades, identifying the engagement of interrelated systems in different environments, demonstrate the ability to read construction drawings related to building systems and their place defining qualities. All right, so just like I said, it's going to be a broad overview of lots of topics so that you get a base understanding, a solid understanding of what all these things are, so that when you hear people in the industry talking about these things, you are familiar with what they're talking about and you understand it, all right? And you can engage in productive conversation with them, all right? So attendance, since this course is being delivered 100% online, attendance will not be recorded. However, full participation is necessary for success in the course. Certain activities throughout the course may be graded to ensure participation. All right, so again, if you're familiar with the last course that I taught, it's going to be very similar to that. All right, I'm going to skip through a couple of these things. So assignment submission policy. All course assignments shall be submitted only through the assignment submission link on the course Blackboard page. Please do not email them to me. I need them submitted through Blackboard, okay? So if for some reason you're turning in something late, it still has to be submitted through the Blackboard link because I won't be able to grade it otherwise. There has to be a record that you submitted it through the system or else I can't really do anything with it. If there's a problem with submitting, just reach out to me and tell me what the issue is, and I will be happy to help you out with that. All right, due dates and late work. A lot of this stuff is specified by the university. You guys know me at this point, at least you should. I will accept late assignments, but if it gets to be outrageously late, then I won't, and I will give deductions based on how late it is. But if you have a good excuse for why it's late, usually I'm willing to be pretty flexible and I will work with you on that. So you just have to give me reasonable notice. If you foresee something coming up, you need to get in touch with me and explain the situation, and then we can work something out, okay? All right, so requirements and expectations, adequate preparation, practice, participation in course discussions and activities are expected. Assigned readings are required for a better understanding of the lecture material and a productive participation in class discussions. All right, so reading in this class is going to be a big key part of it. All right, we're going to be really focusing on the textbook, so you have to make sure that you read the chapters and any other assigned readings, and that you really understand to make sure that you really understand the content. Because if you just go based specifically off of what I provide, then you're going to have some problems, okay? I'm going to be giving you note sheets that you can follow along with, and while those note sheets are going to be pretty detailed and they're going to have most of the material from the chapters within them, I will be pulling material from the textbook that are not listed on the note sheets for quizzes and exams, okay? So you have to make sure that you read through all the content in the book and understand it so that you can be prepared for the quizzes, because not everything that I give you will be taken straight from my documents, okay? Some of it is going to be in the textbook, and you have to read through the all the readings so that you know that you've covered everything and that you will be prepared for the quizzes and exams, okay? You're going to be responsible for checking Blackboard regularly for course announcements and updates. If there's any new announcements, I will email those out to you so that you guys don't miss them, and then they will also be posted to Blackboard, okay? So hopefully you guys will be totally clear on what is expected each week. You just have to make sure that you check the site regularly and make sure that you're staying on top of everything. I'm going to skip through a couple of these things. Testing format. So we're going to have quiz and exams, and these are mainly going to be multiple choice. All right. So you should be used to that. And all the quiz and exams will be taken through Blackboard. All right. Grading scale. You need a 73 or higher to pass this course. The grading scale is pretty standard. And then course evaluation. All right, so right now I have this broken down as we're going to have 2 exams. We're going to have a midterm exam and a final exam. And then we're going to have a series of lab assignments. Okay, so think back to what we did in my last class. It's going to be a little bit different though, since this is focused on building systems and not computer applications. But I'm going to try my best to tie in those two, your understanding from those 2 courses. Okay, so I want to link this course together with digital applications and 3D modeling and rendering as much as I can, because I think it's going to be really useful for you to understand building systems and how those topics translate over to like Revit and those applications you'll be using. Because that's what you're going to be doing all the time at work anyway. So it's going to be beneficial for you to kind of get that understanding of, what we're talking about here, how that translates over to the more practical, technical aspects of what your job will be. All right, so that's what those lab assignments will mostly be focused on. And then we're also going to have quizzes, all right? And the way that this class is broken down, we're going to have a series of modules, and well, we'll just cover that here next in the course schedule. All right, so I'm going to go back and open up the schedule really quick. All right, so this is our tentative schedule that we're going to be sticking to. Some of this stuff is subject to change depending on, how I see things going. If I get to a point where I think I need to change topics and add in things or omit things that I see as being useful or not useful, I might go in and modify this as we go through the semester. All right, but as it stands currently, this is what we are looking at. So we have a total of 7 modules here running the entire semester. Each module is going to be broken down into 2 weeks. All right, so for our first module, we're going to be looking at Building Systems Introduction and an Introduction to Sustainability. And as you can see, for each week I have some specific things posted here. So what you can expect each week is to have some sort of a lab assignment, probably on the first week of the module, and then the second week of a module, we will have a quiz, and the quiz is going to tie back to everything we've covered in those 2 weeks. So quiz 1 here, I have that currently set up for week 2, so 125 to 131. Probably I will try to get that open early in the week if I can, but it will definitely be up by Friday, and then you will have the weekend to complete it. And that quiz is going to cover everything for these 2 weeks, okay? Same with quiz 2. Quiz 2 is going to cover everything for weeks 3 and 4. Quiz 3 is going to cover everything for weeks 5 and 6, okay? So that should make sense to you. All right, so our second module is going to be over interior construction and structural systems. And then we have mechanical and electrical systems. Then we go into acoustics, and then lighting, and then finishes, and then architectural woodwork, okay? Then we have 1 week for review right before the final, and then on finals week is when we're going to do the final exam. All right, and then here you can see on weeks 7 and 8, we're going to have, there's not going to be a lab assignment here because we have to fit in the midterm. So we're going to put the midterm there, and then the following week is going to be quiz 4 over weeks 7 and 8. All right, so the midterm exam is just going to basically cover modules 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then everything else after that, so modules 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going to be all in the final. All right, I think that's going to work out just fine because the start of the semester is very content heavy. There's a lot of heavy topics here with construction and structural systems and mechanical and electrical, all that type of stuff. But then once we get into the second half of the semester, all these topics, I think they're probably going to be a little bit lighter, and it's going to be easier to kind of fit all those things in on one exam. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. All right. So let me go back here now to the course homepage. All right, so what you want to do each week is go here to your learning materials. And then whenever you're in your learning materials, you're going to find a module. Okay, so here's our first module for the week. And then within each module, you're going to see 2 folders, okay? So in this first module, you can see I have week 1 and then week 2. Week 2 is going to open up after we complete the week 1 content. So you can just come back in here in week 2 and this folder will be there. But if I go to week 1 here, what you're going to see is a to-do list. And then I have a set of notes here. And then also this is going to be your first assignment, which is a discussion activity. But basically this is going to be how each folder within the module looks each week. You're going to have a list of things to do, and you just need to make sure that you get them done before 11:59 p.m. that Sunday. All right, and I will have the due dates listed here in case you are confused about when things are due. But if we look at these notes, okay, so I don't have it in here currently, but there's going to be a little video that goes along with these notes. This is basically going to be your PowerPoint, I guess. I just figured it would be easier to do it this way instead of going through and setting up a bunch of PowerPoint slides because that takes quite a while to do. What I do, if I open this, is I basically go through here. I go through the readings in the book and I pick out all the most important parts of the readings and I condense all that information into these note documents. Okay? So you can see just it's just a set of notes. So there was chapter 1, and then here starts chapter 2. It goes through everything, and I have images and stuff in here to help you guys out. I have links to YouTube videos that I find or that I think will be helpful for you. So if there's a complicated topic, I will link a YouTube video to that link, and you guys can go there, and it will hopefully clarify these topics. I'm a big fan of like This Old House and shows like that. All right, building construction type content on YouTube. So there's some channels I follow that have really good stuff that ties in well this class. So if I can find clips from sources like that, I will usually put those in so that you can get a better understanding of them. And I think these explain these concepts really well and help to clarify things. So make sure you watch these videos that I put in, because that's for your benefit. And also I think they're just kind of fun. They explain things in a really easy to understand way. And it kind of just breaks things up from reading through these documents, okay? But every week you can expect me to put something like this together and upload it. And then what I'm going to do is basically read through these each week. Well, not really read through them, but these will basically be my form of a PowerPoint presentation. I'll basically make a video where I'm running through all these note sheets, and I'm going through all these points and explaining them to you and adding some, just some narration, some commentary, and explaining what all this stuff is in a little bit more detailed way. But this is how I'm planning on doing it, okay? If you guys have a problem with this approach, you can let me know if there's something else that you prefer, but I think this is going to be the easiest way. Otherwise, all I would be doing is copying and pasting everything that's in these note sheets to PowerPoint slides, which takes a while, and it would basically be a different format, but all the material will be the same. So I think this way is just going to work just fine. Me kind of running through this and explaining all these points to you. And then you can read through all this stuff in more detail on your own if you want to. And obviously read through the chapter as well. All right, but this is kind of how everything is going to work, okay, in terms of your lectures. So I'll probably have 1 or 2 of these per module that you will just listen to me talk to, and hopefully they won't take too long either. I know in digital applications, those videos that I put up kind of went really long. Just the nature of them, it takes a while. So expect that. And then going back here, depending on the lab assignment that I give you guys, there may be supplementary videos tying into those as well. Either videos that I make on my own to kind of walk you through a process. If I'm using Revit or something, I'll make a video like I did last semester and kind of walk you through what the lab assignment is so that you can complete it. Or if there's like a supplemental video that I think ties into it well, I will put that up so that you can watch that as a reference, and it'll help you complete the assignment. All right, so this first week is pretty light. There's not too much, also being that it's a shortened week by a day, so I wanted to keep it just as a basic introduction. But going forward, you can expect to see maybe a little bit more in here per week than what I'm showing you right now, okay? But each week is going to be following this basic sort of structure, okay? Get in here, look at what you need to do, take a look at the notes, listen to the narration that I put up where I'm running through the notes, and then do whatever assignment or activity I have posted. And then on the second week of the module, go through all your readings and everything, and take the quiz that I have posted. All right. There's going to be new readings each week. So this first week, we're going to be doing chapters 1 and 2 in the book. And then on week 2, we are going to cover chapter 3. Okay. So make sure that you have all that material covered and you understand it all before you go ahead and you take the quiz for week 2 of the first module, and they're all going to work that same way. All right, so that's going to do it for my little introduction here. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to email me or text me and ask, and I will be happy to help you out. All right, good luck getting started this semester.